Hello and welcome to GPJ for Stargate SG-1 episode... I should know this by now. Episode 13, Season 7 of SG-1, Grace. Now this is my favourite, this is absolutely my favoritist question out of all of them. Whose ship is that? Now this refers to the alien ship that attacks the Prometheus in the episode, and it is huge, kind of awesome, and it looks incredibly organic, but at the same time it's extremely technical, and nobody knows. It's never answered in the series, it's never answered anywhere else. Online even, there's not even, I couldn't find one single person who came up with the same theory that I did, because it could only be like one or two people, you know. It could be either somebody that we've never seen before that just completely hates everybody else that's technically minded in space, which to be honest is kind of fair because everybody else in the universe seems to be, well, in the galaxy seems to be Gell and horrible and nasty and shit. So if they encountered the Gell, then they would probably do the same thing that they do in this episode. Although it doesn't really explain why they abduct people for no reason, and why they just randomly attack people. So yeah, it does kind of mean that it could be completely alien and we have just no idea. However, the inorganic nature of the weaponry suggests that it's kind of something that we've seen before, human-wise. You know, it's always like they're really good flowy lines around all of the ship, and then all of a sudden you get these weapons that stick out, and they're square and angular and kind of like they look like they're guns, you know, instead of something completely alien like an Asgard ship, which we can't really see the guns, and everything's always like flowy and kind of pretty and stuff like that, and they're completely alien. You know, it's possible that they were much like us in the past, but they're completely alien, and their technology always seems to have some kind of flowy, organic kind of thing to it. It's always pretty, and it's shiny, and it's a very, very unique perspective, you know, and that's one of the things, again, I love Stargate for. They give you the reason why Asgardians are so cool and different and stuff, but they also give you the reason why they relate to us, in which, you know, because they were like us in the past, and they thought about it. It's clever, it's intelligent, it's the way I like. They don't patronise people, you know, and it's clever. Or it's the Ashen. And this is my theory. It's the Ashen. It is definitely the Ashen. They've got a beef with us still because we limited their exploration of the Stargate network by not teaching them how to use the Stargates properly and stuff. And it's a bummer for them because they kind of need it for their agricultural needs and their population needs and stuff. And although they're patient and everything, they did kind of imply that they have spaceships and that they have the means to go out and beat us up. And the reason why we haven't encountered them just yet, and only just now, is probably because like their homeworld got beaten up by whatever Stargate address that they dialed when they when they used our list of gate addresses. That was basically a trap. Like if you watch the episode 2001 or the one before that, 2010, you know that the Ashen are actually bastards, and that they like kind of are super selfish in their desire to like very, very slowly take over the universe. But they're kind of heartless about it. They try to sterilize people, for example. So they're not all about their long destruction. They're completely fine with leaving people to like destroy themselves very slowly. And it's kind of their MO. It's just the way that they would do it. Their tactics are that they would actually fly in, beam everybody off of there so that they could question them or punish them later, and then fly away, like after destroying their ship, after destroying the Prometheus. That sounds like one of their tactics. Design-wise, it's incredibly alike as well, because if you look at the Shen Harvester from the episode 2001, then you notice that it has a lot of the same kind of flowy lines and curves to it, and it's very organic looking and everything. But when it opens up, you do see a very angular, technical kind of like design inside, and it's just the way that it's done is stunning. That it's just different enough that you could think it's completely somebody else, or it's the same person, you know, the same race. It's the Shen. You know, also the beaming technology, they kind of have these kind of flowy lines when you see them, when you see in the episode Grace, when everybody's beamed back, you see like these kind of flowy lines that go like kind of like that. Very, very Star Trek, I know, but with a distortion behind it all and everything, and that's the way that they did it in 2001 and 2010. Only the lines were more horizontal instead of vertical, and it's almost the same effect. It's not exactly the same effect, but it's almost the same effect, and it's kind of cool because you could even argue that that side of the technology is different because they were using platforms before, so their beaming was different. You know, the platform emitter is like on the other side or something, and when they're using ship-based teleportation, it's actually you know, they're vertical, like flowy lines instead, kind of like beam them off and on to not platforms. So I mean, it's another thing that you could just argue as well. The other thing that makes me think that they're the Shen is that they don't actually signal back, and you know, anybody else would signal back. It's not just a good or bad thing. Anybody else would just totally signal back. So yeah, you've got those two sides. Well, you've got those three reasons why. So that's my answer anyway. Whose ship is that? It's the Shen's, and that's my